It's been quite some time since I've done an interview, and I am selling this house, which I put an enormous amount of work into. It was really bad when I got it. That's a story in and of itself. But I bought it for $50,000 and I'm selling it for $55,000. This was my most exciting room that I had set up. Was planning on using this as a studio, but unfortunately I've used it more to eBay stuff. It was horrendous. I want to tell my story about my interview with Mark Laita. So I decided, why not do it in the worst place of my house here. So this is the basement. And if you can believe it, it's actually much better. That's some interesting plumbing I did not do. It's actually better than when I got here. It was full of crap. But this is a cool cellar. This is where where does that go? This is where coal used to get dumped into. But the closing is in less than 2 weeks. Everything is a green light. I'm happy to be walking away, even with the loss. So I wanted to talk about my interview with Mark Laita, which happened right at the end of my ownership of my second house in Clairton, PA, where the coke works blew up. That's a coal processing plant. It's probably good that I sold it when I did. I moved there, which is quite a distance from Pittsburgh, especially on the bus. It's quite a bus ride to downtown Pittsburgh. And I got banned from Lyft. I had already been banned from Uber for protesting our involvement in the Ukraine war. I got banned from... I'm sorry, I'm a little bit backwards. So I got banned from Uber because of the Ukraine war, and I got banned from Lyft because my neighbors called them and told them I was a dangerous bipolar psycho. So I could no longer work for either of those companies, even though I had really high ratings with both of them. I was stuck. I had gone through several jobs: Fresh Time, grocery store, Hobby Lobby, the liquor store, a funeral home, and a graveyard, and they all fell through. I had hopes for all of them except Hobby Lobby. So I was financially strapped and my bills were piling up, and even though this was a wonderful house I had in Clairton, PA, I couldn't pay the bills. I didn't have a car. I was isolated. So I offered it to I bought the house for $48,000. And I offered it to my mom for $25,000 and offered to pay her rent on it, but her husband said no. They couldn't even understand why I would do that. And I had a painting that an artist in New Orleans, my friend Wendell Haynes, said he would buy back from me, and for $2,000, and that would have been able to get me enough time to get back on my feet and get my bills covered, so I wouldn't have to sell my house. And I got this offer from Mark Laita in Los Angeles. I still had my car then. That was it. So I had two Hyundai Elantras. I sold the one whenever I got banned from Uber, and I kept the other one for transportation to get to work to these silly jobs that I had. Well, Hobby Lobby was the only silly one. And I trusted my friend in New Orleans. I shipped him the painting, and he wanted me to deliver it to a post office box. So I did, and they held it, and I was expecting $2,000 from it. So I was like, okay, I got the $2,000, and I got this offer from Mark Laita. I want to jump on it. It was seemed like a great opportunity because we talked on the phone a few times, Mark and I, and he seemed very impressed with me and interested in an interview. So I put it on a credit card and drove out to Los Angeles, sleeping in my car the whole way, did the interview, and then drove right back. When I got back, my friend in New Orleans said that he no longer wanted the painting and to just tell him how much the shipping was, and then he would send it to me. That was very unexpected because I thought I could trust my friend, and then that's when the credit cards, I didn't have the $2,000 to pay for the trip to visit Mark Laita, and that's whenever I had to sell the house, and I sold it for 53. I bought it for 48. I sold it for 53. So I basically broke even too, if you consider my labor worth anything. This house, I refinished the hardwood floors, which was, I did a lot more work on this house. So this is much more of a loss to me. So I was excited. I wrote out to Mark, and he seemed very interested. I met him at his studio, scared him, because I was a couple minutes early. I have this wicked cold. I'm very sorry for my sound. We did the interview. The interview's on the. Luckily, the interview I have a version of the interview. When I got there, he seemed a nice kind of guy. I was surprised that there was no one else there. It was just him. It seemed kind of dangerous to be, not having any security or anything. And before the interview, I asked him, I said, hey, do you mind if I set up my tripod here and record the interview with my phone? Oh, I have the, is it recording paranoia? It is recording. He said, sure, go ahead. So I set the tripod up, I had my phone, I had the battery dangling from the phone, and I put it on him. The camera was right beside me, and it was facing him, and I figured everything was good. I was kind of surprised he let me do it, but he did. We did the interview, and he seemed very enthusiastic. He said, "This is a winner. I will have it published in 3 weeks." I asked him, I was shocked at 3 weeks because I was expecting to get a bump on YouTube, from him. Because I paid for my whole way out and the hotel and everything. I spent money I did not have that I was expecting from New Orleans, from a friend. And I didn't say anything like, oh God, 3 weeks, really? Why? And, when he told me 3 weeks, his excuse was, it takes me 3 weeks to edit it. Which I was like, really? I've done some videos, and you said you were going to publish it. He said he was going to publish it unedited. So after he said, I'm going to publish it unedited, but it takes me 3 weeks to edit it, I was wondering what the fuck that was about. And on my way out, during this conversation, he was on the phone, distracted, talking to someone about some trauma. And I overheard his whole conversation. I was like, well, this seems, I don't know the person on the phone, but it's like, damn, man, that's kind of a private conversation. And he was ignoring me, trying to be kind of, and I was like, hey, man, do you mind if I get an autograph? There was a big pile of his books there. And since I pay for everything, and I don't think that these books cost him much money in comparison to how much money he has, I thought he was going to sign a book and give it to me. And, fingers crossed, I would end up in one of his books and get another bump, maybe, from Mark Laita's trauma channel. But instead, he pulled out a business card on the back, and scribbled his name on it, gave it to me, and he's like, okay, get out the door. And I was, okay, well, do you mind if I have some water? You know, he gave me some water. So I'm driving, and I'm thinking, oh my God, you know, my family, they think that this is this crazy thing, and my partner thinks it's a crazy thing, and I'm just like, no, man, if I get on Mark Laita's channel, I know that with his audience, I can really get an immediate audience on YouTube and get the snowball rolling, which I've had a really hard time. You know, I have a vision of the snowball, but so to share with my family and to be like, look, man, look, here's the interview. Here's Mark Laita. To prove that I did it, I had uploaded my version to my channel privately. It's not listed, it's not promoted in YouTube. You can only see it if you have a link. And I knew that for some, you know, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. So I sent a message to Mark Laita telling him that I uploaded my version of it with a link and that it was private. And it was just for my family to see, to, you know, calm them down. Because it's just crazy getting in your car and going to talk to some guy, some famous photographer from Apple and Microsoft and Nike. And apparently he's a portrait photographer too. But I think he's probably most well known for his iMac photographs. And the response I got from Laita was from his assistant, and she was like, what are you doing? How can you do this? Take it down immediately. Are you crazy? And I was like, okay, well, you know, so I took it down, and they said, if you cause any trouble, we won't publish your version. And if we publish it and you cause any trouble, we'll take it down immediately. I was confused. I'm like, well, what is this all about? You know, I mean, he gave me permission to do it. And I was expecting, not 3 weeks, might not sound like a long time, but whenever you're like, I'm missing this money, I just need a bump, maybe I could monetize and, you know, just keep my house. You know, my mom's not going to buy it for 25 grand. Beautiful brick house. Beautiful, absolutely, much better than this place. And that ticked me off, and my interaction with Mark, you know, became more tenuous, and I started getting the feeling like he just wasn't going to publish it, you know, because I had this thing. He you know, he told me he didn't want anyone to know what cameras he uses. That was the reason. But I think it was showing what he does in his interviews, which is like yoga, stretching, and laughing, and which, you know, many of the times I heard one of his videos, he's like, this is the first time I laughed, and I'm like, no, it's not. I know it's not. So I was in a really desperate situation, and my antisocial behaviors started to flare, and I felt like I was being attacked by Mark Laita. I did lose my house, and so I wanted to revenge. I wanted revenge. I wanted to and I was feeling, you know, really desperate. I just wanted to, you know, give up. I wanted to give up, and it's like, fuck my life, fuck my life, fuck my life. Fuck my life. I'm gonna ruin this guy. So I had a plan, you know. I told him, you know, if you don't publish it in 3 weeks, when you say you do, because I took my version down after he asked me to, I'm gonna fucking destroy you, and I don't care if I have to destroy myself to do it. So I threatened him with a And he could have taken those messages and which is what he should have done when he's dealing with people with issues, and got me some help or something. All he had to do was publish the video. He didn't even have to do any of that. Just publish the video. And I said, hey man, in the text, because he's not talking to me then. If 3 weeks come and you don't publish it, I'm going to myself. And I was made an agreement with a funeral home director that I knew, and I said, hey, I just need you to make sure that this gets published, uploaded, and cut it out. So I staged and the funeral home director agreed. And I was going to update my will and leave it to them. So instead of listing my house for sale, I was just going to give my house to them for this huge creepy favor. So I was going to, what I needed from the funeral home director was I was going to do a video chat with them of me jumping off of a bridge in Clareton, so they could capture it and upload it to YouTube. Not the graphic part, but the me jumping off the bridge, being like, "This is your fault, Mark Laita." And I told this to Mark, and he didn't give a f***. I could tell with the communications that he was nervous, because it would have given him a bad reputation. And I waited, and he didn't publish it. He was willing. He was, playing his cards, and he's like, "This guy's not going to kill himself." And the 3 weeks came and went, and he just didn't give a f***. And I realized, I don't have to publish this to torture him more. Because I was pretty active on YouTube, and I'm sure he was watching to see what the f*** I did. And I realized he's not sending people out to see if I'm okay or whatnot. And all I have to do is just go silent on YouTube, on the internet. So on all my social media accounts, after the 3 weeks, I just went quiet. And I don't remember how long I waited before I started posting things again or sending him a message. I'm sure he was relieved that I didn't myself. And I uploaded my version of the video and made it public. It got 20,000 views. I got a lot of, and I was going on and commenting on his videos with 3 YouTube accounts that I had, because I would get bit blocked on one, and then I would use another. I got blocked on the other. I used another one blocked, and I got 20,000 views just from people in his comments coming to my site. So I thought, wow, if he would have 20,000 is big for me. If he would have published his version, I wonder how many views it would have got. I had hopes for millions. I had hopes that it was like, because I think I figured out, a huge, not completely me, but like I feel like it was mostly from a guy I watched called Sam Vaknin. He introduced me to the International Classification of Diseases, and it has a different understanding of personality disorder than the DSM-5. In fact, my therapist right now said that the DSM-5 is a dumpster fire. Yes, because I don't have a official diagnosis of personality disorder. I have a diagnosis of autism and bipolar 1 with psychotic features. And I was obsessed with Mark Laita for quite some time. Quite a few of the videos are still up on my channel. So that's my story, I'm still a nobody. That was my best video. You can look on the channel. I didn't give my house to a funeral home director. I sold it and paid off my debts. I had some money left over. I moved in with my mom because her husband just died, and I wanted to help her out. And she helped me get this piece of which I'm selling, and she just took the money that she helped me with this house. She's taking it out of her will, so my stepsisters get more money after she and that's it. Well, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, please.
Yeah, I was too high the first one.
You're too high. Yeah.
I was like, this nigga's the police.
I knew you were gold then. I knew there was something special about you.
I said I had to come back. Damn, I'm in the book. This is okay. I'm finalized now. Okay, never.